As someone who's worked in the heating and air for years, I've been in countless older homes across the Twin Cities, and I can tell you there's one thing that keeps me up at night: asbestos. This stuff was everywhere in older buildings. Insulation, ductwork, pipe wrapping, and disturbing it can release dangerous fibers into the air. That's why I want to tell you about solutions for asbestos-free environments. Acronym: SAFE, S-A-F-E. And trust me, that acronym says it all, because safety is exactly what they deliver. They're certified by Minnesota Department of Health and fully compliant with EPA and OSHA standards. We at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric use SAFE for abating asbestos during older boiler and gravity furnace replacements. Our electrical team relies on them when drilling through asbestos sidings and floors. I trust them with my customers' safety, and that says everything. Whether you're replacing that old furnace, renovating, or buying property, SAFE provides professional inspections and certified removal services. I've seen what happens when people skip the inspection and just start tearing into walls. Don't take chances. Visit asbestosservices.services to learn more and schedule your inspection today. That's asbestos.services, ASBESTOS.services, because your safety matters.
From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
All right, Twin Cities people, you're going to feel this one. I'm Wymond Wong, host of Twin City Tales podcast, and today I'm sitting down with Kris Johnson, co-owner of Enrichment Skin Solutions in Brooklyn Park. She grew up in Minnetonka and spent time around Excelsior back when the whole area was just the spot. Lake life, classic West Metro hangouts, and of course, everybody's favorite, T-Rights, that restaurant and bar everybody loved back in the 80s. But here's what's really cool. Kris has 25 years of occupational therapy, still works casually with Alina, and now she and her husband, Michael, a nurse practitioner and a medical director, run a true medical clinic focused on skin health and regenerative aesthetics. So we're mixing local roots, real healthcare experience, and what it actually takes to build a clinic that helps people feel better, look better without the hype. Let's go. Kris Johnson, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Wymond. This is great. I love it.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah,
I grew up in Hopkins, so...
I was going to say, nice intro. You just brought me back.
I know, right?
Yeah.
T-Rights and...
Oh, yeah.
And then they had Maynard's out there, and it was just a
Excelsior
fun
Park
place.
Tavern. I mean,
Yes.
It all just changed hands, but
Yeah.
it was, that was the spot.
Yeah,
So-
and people don't ever remember, but Excelsior Amusement Park was out there.
Exactly.
And I think I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. It was before Valley Fair
Yes.
was around.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I have a story that my dad told me when I was about 2 years old. We went on the Ferris wheel, and we were at the top of the Ferris wheel, and we were looking over Excelsior Bay, and I guess a boat blew up. So, Of course, I don't remember this, but he remembers it like, it was yesterday. But yeah, that Excelsior Park, they took the original roller coaster and they brought it out to Valley Fair.
Yes,
right?
I had heard that.
It's
Yeah.
the white roller coaster.
Yeah, the wooden one.
The wooden one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of history there.
I know.
The one thing I remember about Excelsior Park was it had the garbage cans with like either a lion or a seal, and it was vacuum. Like it was like you'd put the cup in there and it'll turn on and go and sucked it right in. Yeah, sucked it right in. So that was really cool.
I'm sure they'd want to be known for that,
So when you grew up in Minnetonka, what was it like growing up in Minnetonka for you?
Well, it was great. I mean, I didn't really know anything different, but in Excelsior, then, I grew up on Lake Minnewaska, so I grew up in the lake. We skied and we were water people, so that was really fun. It was, and then moved into Excelsior, so I actually lived with my dad in the Gables. right where the amusement park was.
Yeah.
And what a great spot for a teenager to grow up. Just walk down in Excelsior. And of course, I had a bunch of different jobs in Excelsior. I think, the dry cleaner, the ice cream shop, the tanning booth, because I could walk right to work from the Gables, right to work. So it was fun. I felt like I was just part of the action, and seeing the lake right there. I always loved water.
And Haskell's was there for nostalgia people.
Yeah.
Haskell's restaurant that overlooked the lake.
Still there.
Yes,
It's still there.
And you went to Minnetonka High School.
I did, yes.
How was that experience?
It was great.
For you?
It was good. Part of, I got a little bit, I was a figure skater. And then once high school came along, I thought, I want to be more involved in high school. So then I was a hockey cheerleader, and then I was a skipperette for my last year, which was a blast. I had just so much fun doing that.
Interesting that you say that, because I think in our age, we're pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Rick Trenery, his sister was, I believe, Jill Trenery.
Oh,
who
yeah.
went to, and she was a huge ice skater.
Yes.
And she ended up going to Minnetonka High School
Correct.
instead of Hopkins when Rick went to Hopkins.
Okay. Yeah. So she skated at Minnetonka Ice Arena then when I think I was coming in with my lessons and everything. And I think she was getting good enough that she started going to train out in Colorado. And so I don't know if I probably saw her a little bit, but I didn't know her too much. But absolutely. I mean, she was a big part of Minnetonka Ice Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. Look at us. I mean, we probably could have run into each other.
Maybe those parties. Because they had a lot of them on the lakes.
They did.
I remember a friend of mine would have, you just have to find a friend with boats, right? That was the key.
Yes.
We didn't own one. And then we would be out there on the lake and just hang out there and sleep on some of those boats and stuff.
Big parties out there.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
And then you went on to Stout for psychology.
Yes. So UW Stout for psychology. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Went in at first for interior design, and then thought, I don't really care about learning about cotton and linen. It just wasn't my thing. So I thought, human behavior was quite interesting to me. So I thought, psychology, that'll work. So that's kind of the route I went in. And then probably my senior year, I thought, I'm going to need to do something more than just this. I'm going to have to go on and get something that I can do. And I started, I worked for a gym, and there was a physical therapist that they had their clinic right next to this gym. And so I connected with him and I said, hey, let me follow you around. So then I got really interested in physical therapy. And then when I graduated from Stout, I applied to PT school for about 3 years, and it was really competitive back then. And I just couldn't get in. And finally, the last year I said, fine, I'll just try occupational therapy because it's kind of the same thing. Whatever. I was sick of getting denied. Yeah. And I got into the St. Kate's program. I got into the master's program. So I thought, then that was meant to be. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what the difference between occupational therapy and physical therapy is?
For sure. So occupational therapy looks at the everyday things. So daily activities, such as sometimes as easy as getting dressed, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, feeding yourself, to housework, to leisure activities, just your daily activities that you do and the ability to do them. So if somebody has had a stroke, they're not able to live their life roles or their daily roles. So we teach them then how to either continue with their roles through modifications, adaptive equipment, such as maybe a shower chair or a sock aid to help them put on socks, or through remediation, strengthening the affected extremity so that they can kind of get some of that function back.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then physical therapy.
Physical therapy, you can say it depends on where you go. And there's so many different routes to OT and PT, but PT would be more of mobility, more walking, more just kind of bodily function. So, but they also look at the daily things too.
I feel like they can blend pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, there's overlap.
Okay.
Yeah, there's overlap, but there's always a need for both. So, yeah, and just kind of depends on what the person has gone through and what their roles are. So I worked at the outpatient clinic at Mercy Hospital for 25 years, years. And we started the last probably 10 years, started working with a lot of people with concussions and vision therapy. And I helped just launch that program for Courage Kenny. So it's evolved quite a lot in the last 10 years, but that was a really neat way. I mean, some of those people just got lost in the cracks. And what's a concussion back 10 years ago? It was nothing. It was just go sit in a dark room and deal with it. Yeah. And that's not the case anymore.
Interesting. So. It's kind of funny that we're bringing you on because I just talked to Liz Peterson, who owns the Botox Bar. Yeah. And her history is that she worked at Mercy Hospital in the prenatal unit and the baby unit, I guess. So it's interesting that how you guys have kind of fell into that same line, or not in the same line. I think you guys do two different things, and we'll get to that in a minute here. But with that, so your occupational therapy, and then when I think of skin enrichment, I'm thinking, like, what are you doing with my skin, right? So how does that translate from figuring out how to put a sock on?
Right, exactly.
How does that work? How did that work for you?
For Michael and myself, our clinic is based on just the body, the whole body, because the skin is a part of the whole body. And it's a part of your well-being. It's a part of your physical being, and how you treat your body in general is how your skin is going to look. So as far as how occupational therapy fits in there, my role in the clinic is just a lot of client care, just operations and then client care. I'm very client-centered. So when you come into the clinic, I'm going to welcome you. I want you to feel special. You're going to feel like you're the most important person at that moment. So that's kind of my role, where Michael is more the provider, and he's been doing his medical procedures for many, many years.
And so you were you're still in the occupational therapy. I should say you're in there right now, and your husband what did he do? Because he's the one that holds the medical for your skin enrichment.
Correct. Yes. Yep. So he worked at Alina as well. He was family practice, internal medicine, did hospital rounds on for M Health Fairview. So, but what's kind of fun, kind of part of the story, is that he did a lot of the dermatological procedures in the clinic at Alina. The procedures that you can do in a clinic that none of the other docs wanted to do. So he talked to a women's health nurse practitioner, and Michael didn't want to do women's care anymore, and she didn't want to do the skin tags and all the skin procedures. So they said, let's swap. You be the skin guy and I'll be the women's health. And he's like, great, works for me, perfect. So so he's been doing that for years, but really, really has a great sense of just the whole body, the physiology, anatomy, internal medicine as far as metabolic, what's going on inside each person. So as a combination then, he is definitely the visionary of the He and I team, and I am the detail, let's go for it, let's do it. So it's a really great combination. So we kind of stay in our lane-ish.
Yeah. Well, I'm working with family that always kind of mixes. It's interesting. But how did you guys was it one day he just says, hey, let's start a business called
Enrichment Skin Solutions?
Enrichment Skin Solutions. How did that come about?
No, it wasn't one day. I think it was just he kind of was getting a little bit tired of the politics with medicine. And just really, somebody approached him and said, this is such a great avenue to go if you want to open a private practice. And I think you'd be great because you have just such a wealth of knowledge and we've got so much experience. Why don't you look into that? And he did, and he just started falling in love with it. Because it really, some of the procedures that he does do, he he would have been a surgeon back in the day if he would have had a little bit more guidance. But these are kind of some of those. You can really, he can really look and picture what's going on underneath the skin so that he can perform the procedures correctly and effectively.
So besides being like the doctor of that clinic and to try and start it up, is it a huge startup cost to be able to do that? Because you have to have, and I guess I'm asking because I'm not sure what type of medical equipment you need at Enrichment Skin Solutions, or how would that be started? Because like in my field, right, a lot of times a guy can start in their garage, right? And you certainly aren't going to be starting in your garage working having that, right? It has to be a little more cleaner. What does that look like?
As far as starting up, it just depends on what type of services that your clinic is going to provide. So he can purchase the pharmaceuticals because he has his license to be able to do that. So, if you want to start up with just maybe some injectables, Botox, filler, some of the other Sculptra, some of the other just injectables, that's not a huge startup. I mean, yes, you have to purchase it, but it's not huge. But if you really, really want to look at skin quality, which we do, buying some technology that is more advanced is a little bit more of a financial commitment. So we have some of the newest technology out there for, and I'll just throw the names of things out there, even though you go, well, I don't know what that is, but radio frequency microneedling, which is actually putting heat into the skin to skin tighten, basically. And then intense pulse light, which is as close to a laser as we get for dealing with sunspots, age spots, and skin tightening. And then laser hair removal, and then also body contouring through electrical stimulation to really strengthen up the muscles in the belly, the legs, and that would be to kind of a rehab in a way.
So that goes into physical therapy.
Kinda, yeah. It's fun because we had somebody who had a knee replacement and he could not get his full range of motion. And he came in, we put him on our Evolve system, which they're like little electrodes. Well, not that little, they're probably that big, but it's like a TENS unit on steroids. And so we put those on his quadriceps, on his hamstrings. He sat there for 30 minutes with these just muscle contractions going. And by the time he walked out the door, he had full range of motion.
Oh, interesting.
So it was he was so excited. Yeah. So some of those pieces of equipment are definitely more expensive, but honestly, that is the trend for 2026. It's not fillers, it's not filling up the face, it's more natural, more indetectable injectables. That's what we're calling it. So
can you work well with like those other companies that do that kind of stuff? Because I feel like I've seen more and more of like Botox places come up, and of course we have Lizzie Peterson on here. So are those people that is that a good like referral partners for you at all, or how's that?
Not really, because we do Botox, we do fillers, we do all that. So we kind of those companies we overlap. It's just a matter of, what is your brand? What do you focus on? What is versus us? And we're more regenerative, so taking your blood, getting all the stem cells, the cytokines, the mesenchymal stem cells to actually inject back into your skin, your face, or joint injections, just to tell those old cells, like, hey, let's change our behavior. Let's regenerate ourselves. So it just depends on, what the clinic's main focus is. So,
what's interesting is like there's so many things and products out there that can make you feel better or tell you that it makes you feel better. And there's some that go down like, well, you need to Western medicine, right?
Yeah.
And you got people that are like holistic. That's the route to go. Like, don't put anything in your body that you should never put in, right?
Right.
They might even go down the road of like those units, the laser units, right? Like that's not meant to be. That's not what God's way of healing you. What do you say to those kind of practices? Do you feel like those are like really, for lack of better terms, like like voodoo kind of medicine, or do you feel like there's a place for them?
Oh, I think there's a place for everything. The holistic, if somebody really is like, I don't want to put anything in my body that, good for them. That's great. They know what they want. So I think that depending, where the person's coming from, I think that's just fine. I think there's always a place for Western medicine, in my opinion. I think a lot of it has gone a little bit sideways. I think we're treating symptoms of something else where we're really not getting down to the basics and what actually is going on with the body, which is unfortunate. So, but I think, for certain medications, yeah, I think we need them. But then, so we try to take a little bit more of a, well, I don't want to say holistic approach, because that's really not it. It's more regenerative again. Just let's regenerate your body. Let's pick treatments that your body says, hey, I'm going to produce more collagen. I'm going to produce more elastin. That's what we're losing. That's what we're losing every year. And so let's pick those things that can help your body heal itself. So that's really kind of our brand. But absolutely, I mean, there's so much information out there.
There is.
There's so much. Like, what do I follow? Maybe I'm going to try this. Oh, but you're not supposed to do that. Okay, well, maybe I'll try this. Oh, but I'm not supposed to. So clients will come in, and our big thing is, let's provide education. Let's show you where your anatomy is. Let's show you your physiology. Michael will draw on your face. He'll mark you up, and tell you these ligaments are here. These ligaments are here. This is where this is. This is what I'm seeing. What are your concerns? Let's make a treatment plan and a solution together. So people really like that, because we have had so many people say, nobody's ever told me that. Nobody's ever told me that.
Yeah.
They just look at me and say, I need 12 units of Botox. He's like, no, we're gonna do this systematically. So yeah.
It's a matter of educating them, right?
It is a matter.
What will help them, and then let them make
Decide.
the best decision from the information you feed them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The one thing that I always think of, like medicine or body healing things, like you hear things come out, and you and I go back a little ways with this, or you're going to remember this, but I remember they had a product in the 90s for weight loss, and it was called Fen-Phen, remember?
Yeah.
And then they're like, holy crap, that's fentanyl.
Yes.
And we're like,
feeding
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that separate, like, especially because people are worried about aging skin now.
Mm-hmm.
They are worried about these little things.
Yeah.
How can we assure, like, these people that are doing some of this stuff that that's not what's going to happen, like what happened to Fen-Phen, right?
Right, exactly. Well, and from what we do is we don't jump on any trends. We don't jump on any bandwagons. Michael will tell you straight out, he won't ever carry GLP-1 meds. We just don't know. He's because he was back in the Fen-Phen days. He was prescribing, all of a sudden that they took it off the market, and so he never wants to be responsible for anything, because we don't know what the end result of those drugs are. And so he's like, if it works for you and if it's indicated for certain diagnoses, then okay. But we just won't do it. So
I'm going to sound really stupid, but what is GLP-1?
So those are like the Ozempic.
Oh,
medications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So weight loss, and there can be just a fine spot for them.
Yeah.
It's just you have to do it safely. But he just combs through all the medical journals and just doesn't. He's just one of those skeptics.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's a lot of that stuff now, right? The last couple of years, like Ozempic, Wegovy, just a lot of injectables. And then the other ones I've noticed is like Skyrizi, all these different advertisings, right?
Yeah. It's hard to know if those are right for you. It's hard to know what's good for you. And I would hope that people are going to medical doctors and getting, diagnoses and making sure that that's right for them.
They always tell you that you have the line, right? Like every commercial I've seen, like is the little blue pill right for you? Ask your doctor, right?
Right.
They always say that. Like
Yeah.
that's their disclaimer.
The disclaimer on all the rest of the medications at the very end. You could die.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
great.
And it's so funny because I still remember when my kids were younger, and this was in the 2000s, and the little blue pill came out, right? Viagra, and how do you and you see how they advertise it. Like they're more direct now on certain things, but
Right.
I still remember the commercial where they're throwing a football through a tire, and they're
I don't remember
explaining this drug. And I just remember my kid says to me, actually, I think it was Dan, he says, so does that help you like throw a football? Like he's only like 5 or 6 years old at the time, right? It's like, no, it's gonna be hard to explain.
Exactly.
To you.
We'll talk about that another day.
Exactly. But I think sometimes we get misled with certain information from what the society, the advertising, the marketing, and then on top of that,
It's so true.
Yeah, and I'm not even 100%. I get it. Like, yes, I personally, you can see me on YouTube, I'm overweight. But I also feel like there's people that are overweight that are emotionally healthy. Mm-hmm. But then what happens is they get what society norms tell them, like, you're unhealthy because you're overweight, right? And is it always true? Do you feel that way? Like, you're in pretty good shape. I think it's a matter of making sure you exercise. But I've known some bigger people that are actually pretty good shape. And I've known some that are really thin that I have no muscle, really.
Exactly. Right. So it's all a matter of, how do you take care of yourself? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? I was just listening to a podcast on menopause and how the whole is such a paradigm shift right now about, I don't want to say hormone replacement therapy. I think they're calling it menopause replacement therapy, but the exercise has to be so different for women than it was when you're younger in your 30s. It's heavy lifting right now for women. For me, you lift heavy because that's just resetting your body. To me, that's so interesting. But it's just what's going in, how you're treating your body.
Because I feel like as you get older, you also lose muscle mass, right?
Yeah.
Being an occupational therapist.
Oh yeah, you do. Yep. Yeah.
How can one regain that?
Just little by little. Yep. You just start. Yep. Maybe you do 3 times a week and you do little lifting for 5 minutes. You just have to start and build, and you got to just start somewhere.
Do you believe in like more of like the sustainability, like the consistency of little small weights, or do you believe in like, you just gotta
hit it hard.
Push yourself.
Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know what the research is. I just had happened to listen to this podcast, and it said the research is saying heavy lifting. Well, if you haven't been doing that before, who's going to want to start with that? You're just like, okay, well, the next day I'm super sore and I can't even walk. Forget it. I'm done. I'm not doing that again. Yeah. So I think just, little by little, taking things in moderation and then just building on that. So, but just knowing that you're actually doing your body some good.
And at our age, I've realized, like, we don't recover like we once
don't.
did. I mean, what took us like a day or 2 to heal takes now a week.
I know. So true. Yeah. And, I'm working with, for home care, I'm working with people that are, they're more mature. I just saw somebody in their 90s, and okay, well, we still need to have you exercise. You're not as mobile as you are. So we're using soup cans for weights, so what is that, like 10 ounces?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
no,
less
but,
than a pound
but
for sure.
Yeah, but let's get you going and doing something. We got to keep, if you're strong upper body, and your legs are really weak, well, let's keep what you have on your upper body. Yeah. So let's just keep moving. Our bodies are made to move. So,
one of the things that I'm a big proponent of is a place called Hammer Services, and they have like adult disabilities, like they either have severe Down syndrome or they're lower functioning autism, right? And they try and get them to move. But one of the things that I've noticed, and because you're an occupational therapist, is the one thing that we are these days are living longer, right? Like,
Yes.
Like people are just living longer.
Yeah.
And they're finding out like these people with adult disabilities are also living longer. And these homes are taking care of these adults that need occupational therapy and things like that. How do we provide that for them? Do you think something like, I mean, and you were saying like the regeneration of the knee, I mean, that would really help that. Is that something that would help those type of people, you know, live a little bit longer or live a fuller life?
Right, exactly. It just, I mean, the regenerative medicine or the platelet-rich fibrin injections for knees, hips, shoulders. I mean, if you're in pain, if you're trying to avoid surgery, if you can't have surgery, there's big studies out there that say that is so good for your body. It can reduce inflammation, which is the whole point. So reduce inflammation and regenerate. You can't fix bone on bone. If you need surgery, you need surgery. But if, it just kind of depends on some of the elderly people too. If you take their blood and they just don't have the greatest, if they're older and they just don't have the blood to support the injection, because you're supplying the product that we're injecting. So if they just don't have it, it's probably not a great option. So, but people, young people playing pickleball and they've gotten hurt, or they just, shoot, I want to get back on the pickleball court. I got to reduce my inflammation because I kind of twisted my knee wrong. That would be a great referral for us. Also, physical therapists, chiropractors, any of those the people that are seeing the people in pain and trying to avoid surgery, that would be a great referral.
So, the question is then I have insurance.
Yeah.
Do you work with insurance companies?
We do
too?
not.
Okay.
Nope. That, and you've probably heard that orthopedics, they do PRP injections, which is kind of the same thing. I'm not going to get technical on it. But the ortho places don't take that insurance on that because it's not studied, I guess. And so that's the insurance companies say, well, we're not paying for that. So it's all private pay anyway. But and usually it's a series of 2 to 3, maybe 4 injections. Yeah. So, and it's pretty quick, pretty quick in the office.
And you're finding out that it helps people quite a bit.
A lot. Yeah.
Why aren't insurance companies doing more of that, do you suppose?
I'm not sure. I think some of it is you just can't do a study on it. We can't do the PRF injection on one person compared to another, and does it work, does it not? Because people's blood is different. Okay. So they just can't do studies on it. Interesting. Which is probably why they don't.
They won't. Yeah. And then, of course, we're hearing, it is too bad. And then, of course, we're also fighting you always hear about like all these insurance companies going, we're not covering that. We're covering this. We're not covering that. We're covering this. And there's things that they need to cover, but they won't cover it because you had this that won't let you cover it.
I know. And here we are, being directed by an insurance company. Yeah. Your care is directed by an insurance company, which is really sad. And that's, I think, part of what Michael was just so over. Like, I want to be able to use my knowledge, my experience, my wisdom, what I know of the body, and be able to provide a treatment plan for somebody and not be dictated by an insurance company. And so, side note, we do medical concierge service at Enrichment Skin Solutions just because that's what he did before. We don't advertise for it a lot.
And what, if for a layman like me, what is a medical concierge service?
So it's a pay-as-you-go medical care. So we have a program where you come in, I can't get into my primary doctor. I have a really big deductible on my insurance plan, and I need a cheaper option to be able to go see a provider, but I need to come in because, number one, I feel sick, or I need my medications managed. I just need a blood pressure medication renewed. So we have a program that you can come in for an evaluation, and then we actually have a membership program too, month by month. And we'll just take care of you for the year if you want. It's all private pay, of course, but it's way cheaper than if you were to go into the doctor, pay your $700 visit that just went on your deductible. So you still have to pay up your deductible before it even gets. Yeah, so we're way cheaper than that. Yeah. So then now we're not dictated by insurance companies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. You know, the one thing that again, I don't have enough knowledge. I'm just a heating and air guy. But, you know, you read things back here and there, right? Like they say Canada has a good system because it's a single payer system. And but ours is so privatized healthcare insurance that it makes it difficult for us to get good care, or we get good care, but it's expensive. Mm-hmm. But then you hear on the opposite side, you can have that single payer, but they're going to shove you to anybody that they want to.
Exactly.
Where do you sit in there, especially with what you guys do?
Yeah. Well, if we're going to talk that route, it is change. I mean, healthcare is, well, it has to change. It has to. Everybody can probably agree with that. I mean, it's just broken no matter how you look at it. But if you're able to go to a provider that you can actually have care, and it's easy, and you get your answers and have personal care, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And but the standard insurance, and I have health insurance through Health Partners. Yeah. But yes, I have to be in network coverage.
In-network, right.
And so it does kind of limit you to certain places. But I gotta admit, they're really good. I like that options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they
That's
give
great.
you. I think it's just harder sometimes, and for people who don't have that resource, right? Like it's harder for them. And and I don't want to get political, but I believe everybody in this day and age should have access to health care. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we don't have that. Do you believe that somewhat? Like they're trying to fix that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just broken. I think I think they do have, I don't know, it's just, it's hard, but I think they do have access to healthcare. I think they're going to the ERs.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that's even more expensive, right?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't.
And I strongly believe it should be a human right to have some sort of healthcare or access to healthcare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe in, like we talked about the Little House on the Prairie days where, okay, we'll go to the doctor, here's a bag of apples for your services, right?
Exactly.
I don't believe in that because, I believe we should make a fair wage, but I also believe that it should be accessible for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so expensive now because of all of that. So that's where we come in too and say, you know what? If you don't have insurance, because a lot of people can't have insurance now, like you said, I can't afford the insurance for medical insurance. So that's where we're coming into play too, going, well, if you can't afford it, here's access right here for you. And I think that's how it's going to be changing. It's just more private pay. They're not paying the premiums, but they're actually paying for the actual service. So concierge care would be you're paying for the actual service, not a big chunk of money to a deductible that you hope you might not use.
Right.
So yeah, I think it'll be a paradigm shift. I think it's because that's how it was back in the Little House on the Prairie days, or even more. You paid for your service.
You paid for your service. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't pay a deductible and you don't pay all that. You pay for what you get.
No, and healthcare wasn't like that, or you didn't join a club, or a membership to have that healthcare. You just. You said, right? But then, of course, back then, if you got a cut, they would say, here's some leeches. Go ahead and throw that out there.
Exactly. And that didn't cost anything.
No,
so.
Except for your trip down to the river, right?
Well,
to get the leeches.
Right, exactly.
And with that, how about we take a quick break here?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Anoka Meals on Wheels, a nonprofit organization that I proudly support, delivers more than just nutritious meals to seniors in our community. They deliver connection, care, and peace of mind. Their volunteers don't just drop off food, they check in, share a smile, and ensure our neighbors know they're not forgotten. I know because I am one of those volunteer drivers. Help us keep serving those who need it most. Visit mowanoka.org to volunteer, donate, or learn more about Anoka Meals on Wheels, nourishing bodies and spirits one meal at a time. Tired of lugging heavy bags of water softener salt from the store? Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric now delivers premium water softener salt right to your home in returnable, reusable 20-pound containers to go green and light it up to save you from injury. Serving the north suburbs, we're your neighbors who know how hard our water is. No more running out of salt and dealing with spotty dishes and stiff laundry. Quality salt, reliable delivery, local service you can trust. Because at Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, we don't just keep your home comfortable, we keep your water soft and your life easy. Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, now with water softener salt delivery. Call today or visit us online. If you're enjoying the show, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a second to hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more listeners, and if you're feeling really good about us, leaving us a rating or review would mean the world to us. It only takes a minute, but it makes a huge difference in helping other people discover the show and our other small businesses in this area and their stories and people, interesting people in this area. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Twin Sea Tales for behind-the-scene content, episode updates, and more. So we're back with Kris Johnson, and this is the part where we do a photo reveal.
Ooh, okay.
Exactly.
Can't wait.
So this first one is, you guys must have been at some event.
Oh, yes. We were at a wedding.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Was it?
Well, we'll go with 2008, maybe?
Way before you were even thinking about opening.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, way before.
And he was a doctor. You were working your occupational therapy.
Sure was.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you guys are having a fun time.
We had fun. Yeah, that was a good wedding.
Do you remember whose wedding?
Yes. I think. I don't know. It's too long ago.
And then this must have been at some restaurant with some friends?
Yes, that was in Edina. So our friends Wendy and Willie. So they were our neighbors in Andover. And then when we moved to Corcoran, they're also, they moved there first and then we followed them. But yeah, they're great people.
That's really cool. So you guys have neighbors that you've lived with, like, just...
Yeah, we followed them. We liked where they ended up. So we needed to go there too. But yeah, we went to Edina and that was a fun little evening.
Okay. So you were living in Andover first and then you moved to
Corcoran. Yeah, about 3 months ago we did.
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I love it there.
Really?
It's so great. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of out in the field a little bit. I feel like we're out, but yet Maple Grove's 10 minutes away.
So did your kids all go to Andover then, or did they go to Plain? Okay.
They went to Andover.
Andover High School. Okay.
Yeah.
And then our final picture.
Oh, look at that one. That's an oldie but goodie.
And you said Bridget
Herman.
Herman is on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So there I am, right in the middle. Yep, with my big eyebrows and my big pudgy cheeks. And yes, I've lost a lot of collagen and elastin in my years.
So was this high school then, or?
Yeah, that was high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, probably junior year maybe. So 87, maybe.
Well, I graduated in 83, so man, I'm old.
No, you're not old.
So back then, if you could go back in time and give that young Kris some advice, what would that be?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think just continue to stay forward and really, if you want to do something, just put your mind to it and just do it. Because along the way, you grow. It's the process. So you grow no matter if you hit that end point or not. And I always feel like I felt like doors would open for me and I might walk through it and then another load of doors would open for me. So even though I might not have wanted to go to, I would have wanted to go one direction, it brought me this way. And then I just had so many other opportunities. So just, if you want to do it, just go for it and continue on.
It's interesting you say that because it's the challenges, right? Like the door opens, you're like, oh my gosh, this is way too much that I ever thought. But pushing through it and what you were supposed to learn at that moment is what you needed to open up that door that you really wanted to go through.
Exactly.
So it's just pushing through challenges.
Right. And I think that really, I look at my job as an OT, and I loved my job at Mercy Hospital. And I'm still casual there. And then I look at what Michael and I have created with the clinic and how I have met so many people just networking, even with our clients, just so many wonderful people. I think how large my world has become and how small it would have stayed if I would have stayed at Mercy. And so even though I miss it sometimes, I think, I've grown so much in the last few years.
And you're such a people person. That's the beauty of it. I mean, and when I met you, I'm like, she's a people person. Yep. She likes people. She knows how to network. And she's always thinking about
which is why
people.
Michael sends me out to do that. Like, come with me. Nope, that's your thing. You're good at it.
And you're more extroverted, too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Is Michael very introverted?
He's introverted. You'd never know by the way he talks and connects with you. Right. You would never know that.
But I feel like introverted and extroverted are like, it's not about how you connect with people.
Right.
It's really about how you re-energize, right? Like,
exactly.
Like you energize when there's people in the room.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But Michael probably doesn't, right?
No.
And my wife is like that too. I'm more extroverted. Like, I get energy around people.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, you put me in front of like 3 or 4 people. I can handle it for about 4 or 5 hours, but
and now I need to go home. Exactly. Our younger daughter, Kaya, is the same way. She's like, I can deal with people for a little bit, and then now I need to just re-energize by myself. So
I kind of give my wife a hard time by saying, she just doesn't like people. But it's not like she doesn't like people. She just can only take people in doses.
Yeah, exactly.
It works
and that's
for her.
okay. Everybody's totally different. See, that's what makes it work, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Or it also makes it work. I just ran into my friend yesterday. He goes, so you seem like you work a lot of hours, Wymond. You haven't really seen your wife. I go, well, that's probably what makes our marriage work sometimes, right?
Right. Exactly.
Was that the separation or whatever makes the heart grow fonder?
Yeah, exactly. Well, good job figuring that out.
Yes, it took me all of 60 years.
Yep. Well, you did good.
So, the other thing that I always like to ask is, who is someone you'd love to hear or see on this podcast and why?
Oh.
Could be anybody famous, or could be somebody local. Could be just somebody that you just like, oh man, they have an interesting story. I would love to talk to them.
This is good. Oh, I think I might know. Lori Strike.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Lori and her husband Jerry are just, they have a heart of gold. They have a great business. They just are willing to help people and they have a wealth of information. He was a firefighter and has so many just great stories. So she's a really great women's connector. So part of Power of She. So.
What do they do?
They have their own business. I think it's called Capstone. And then they have some other properties and things, but they're just entrepreneurs.
It's a real, they do real estate, basically.
Well, yes, and then their business is a little bit different. So, that would be they've got a great story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
there. You go, Lori.
There you go, Lori. You're next. And this is the portion of the show where I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
And so I have a few, not a bucket of salt.
Although this winter I could have used it.
You could have used it. Mm-hmm. This is water softener salt that we deliver, though. So, but that's not it. And of course,
I would have been excited for that too.
Everybody on the show gets a big thumbs up.
Oh, that's
just
cute.
a little thank you from us for coming on our show.
I love that.
We love that you have, and this is something that I just thought was so your personality. I know We met in BNI.
Oh, we did.
But have you read this book
No.
before? Who's in Your Room?
No.
You're such a connector, and it tells you like how do you make those connections in the room and what they mean to you.
Oh, I love that.
It's by Dr. Ivan Meisner.
Meisner.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
so-
That's really great. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Yes.
And the last part is, I think you have such a beautiful mind with a beautiful mindset. You can put that on your desk or at the clinic.
Cute.
And it does start with a beautiful mindset, right? Like
Yeah,
even
it
just
does.
the therapy
Yeah.
and things like that. You have to, if you're, I think a lot of times occupational therapy. Well, we talked about a little bit about that placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing, I'm just curious, like if you're doing occupational therapy, right, and your patient's like, oh, I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to get this, right? They've already had that native mindset. They're never going to get it, right?
Right.
But the ones that's like, I got this, that's the beautiful
They're-
mindset.
Yes. And they're so fun to work with.
Yeah.
Because they make so much more progress.
Yes. Yeah.
They do, yeah. But yeah, just having that heart of I just want to help people has really blossomed from OT into our clinic now. So that's kind of what I'm about.
Great. No, that's fantastic.
So
I love
you
your
nailed
philosophy.
it. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and Kris, I can't thank you enough for being on Twin City Tales.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about Kris Johnson, you can go to www.enrichmentskinsolutions.com. That's www.enrichmentskinsolutions, that's plural.com. Or visit us on our Twin City Tales Facebook page, and we will post it on there. As we roll out of here, I want to thank Chris Hockey for the use of his song Thanks for our show, with no pun intended. And this podcast is powered by Twin City Heating and Air Electric. And until the next podcast, just remember, you can't go wrong with Wymond Blowing on Twin City Tales Podcast.
This song goes out to my family, to all the ones who died before me. I'm sure the family life made you do things you never wanted to, so I wrote this song to say thank you for the breath that I just took, for the life my son will.